some cards over here with icons. If I continue scrolling, a banner over here, some other animations and some other cards, and a banner over here, and then a footer. So this is a pretty geometric and basic financial services template. I will scroll back to the top so I can show you some of the translations that were also applied using Spark. So if I select the different languages here, you will see that the content of the site is translated. I will select some others. And now we can go to Spark to see how this site was built. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and interrupt. So this is Spark. This is the app that was used to build the site. Just as a quick overview, I will show you some of the options here. The first one is the Sites and Pages menu. Once we open it, we can see the list of available sites over here. And then for each site, we can add different pages. This allows us to organize our content, and we can also create different page versions. So as you can see here, I have a financial services page with a version 1, which is currently active, but I could create a version 2 and leave it inactive and work on it. And once I think it's good to go, I can activate it. Over here, we have the languages dropdown, which includes the list of available languages for this site. And here in preview, we can see how the site will look for different devices, such as mobile and tablet. So all of the Spark components are automatically responsive, but you can also apply some specific configurations to them, like changing some of the spacing and stuff like that, or the font sizes, which is important. And well, over here, this is just a zoom out option to preview your site like in a better way. Okay, so now I will show you the gallery of components, which is the options that we have to create content for our site. So as you can see, we have a list of different options over here about us, which includes some company information with cards and trajectory numbers and stuff like that. Clients to display some of your partners' logos, contact to show some of your contact information. But the point here is like, this is just a suggestion on how to use the component, but these are reusable. So you can take these cards and then display some other information, and that's totally fine. I will show you some others so you can get the idea of how are the components. Okay. And now we can customize. For this example, I will customize the existing page. Okay, so let's take this header as an example. I'll start by editing some of the content and then the styles. Okay, so for the title, I could apply different color for the text. And what I want you to see here is that the interface is very easy to use. Like, you don't have to be a developer or have any coding experience or knowledge to be able to perform any changes on the components. And everything is reflected in real time, so you can preview how your site look without any deployment or stuff like that. For description, we could just remove some of it like that.
And quick question, do you have pre-built templates holistically, or the components are what's pre-built that you're dragging in, but there's not like a base template you start with?
Yeah, we have both.
Okay.
So the component, once you add it, I can add one right after this. It looks the same as it does on the menu, but we also have some pre-built templates that are available on the site.
Okay. So if you have someone who's just like basic, I need a customer service portal, you have like a template for them to start with, and then they can configure the components.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the image, I can use some of the Salesforce images, like the ones in files, libraries, or static resources, or I can just upload one from my computer. In this case, I will select one from my computer. Oh, sorry, this one's too heavy. Let's go with this other one. Okay, so now I'm uploading an image from my computer, and it will be updated on the component. Just like that. Now let's move to modify some of the styles of this component. For example, we've got this content area. and we can change the position just by switching with the range options over here, just like that. We can change the width of it like that. Also background color. I will just make some random choices. that color doesn't look very good.
No, I get it. Whenever I demo too, I'm like, I'm not a web designer. I'm just showing you what it can do.
Yeah. So border radius, as you can see, all of the available options that you will probably need to make it brand match your brand. Okay. Okay, so I will show you how it looks, a component that is added from the menu, so you can actually see the full process.
I'd also be curious too, like I can tell that this is a little bit more intuitive, cleaner, more updated interface than Experience Cloud. It looks like there's like some more nuance to what you can do with the components, but like what's the main value of developing in Spark instead of Experience Cloud? Like what are some of the biggest differences?
I would say that the biggest value is that it accelerates the process a lot.
Okay.
And it goes further the available customizations in Experience Builder, because at some point you get stuck with the limitations, like you cannot apply your brand entirely, or at some point you need some CSS override. And the idea is that here you won't need that, because you will find all of the options available, and you have a bigger variety of available components.
Okay, so if someone's like, oh yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
I was going to say, so if someone were to say like, yeah, we're putting a lot of custom CSS in, we're building Lightning Web components, we're using Visualforce, like if they're doing the work for those more like heavy-esque type Salesforce functionality components to put on Experience Cloud, that's where you'd be like, okay, it's going to just be easier to do this in Spark because you don't have to do that. Like it'll have the flexibility for you to do it without doing all the extra work.
Yeah, it's like you're avoiding the coding part.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Yeah, so this is like a no-code environment, and an admin can do this work. So we had a use case at Con Edison, which is a big utility company in the Northeast, an enterprise level customer for Salesforce, where they had to either enhance or launch new portals. I think between 10 and 15 of them. And they had to be ADA compliant. They had to be on brand, and it had to happen really quickly. And they simply couldn't do it. They were going to spend $400,000 on services from Salesforce PS, and it was going to take a few months to get it done. We brought in Spark, got it done in a matter of a few weeks at 1/10 of the cost. It cost $40,000 for services because they needed some help from us, just a little bit, but it kind of saved that account, because Experience Cloud is a little difficult to build these portals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were threatening to attrit $1.2 million worth of licenses. It was that important to the business, and they were going to have to spend so much more money. So we brought Spark in there, super happy with it. And now that AE is bringing us to National Grid, which is another one of those big utilities in the Northeast, for the same similar use case. So that's just like a good case study there. We can send you more information if you'd like.
Yeah. So when you say it was 40,000, is that in you and your team helping implement Spark, or is that in like licensing fees for Spark?
That's both licenses and then a little bit of services around it. So the licenses, I think, were about 10 to 15 grand. This is very inexpensive, by the way.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's per developer working on Spark. Is it same license structure as Experience Cloud? So it's like, however many people are logging in. How do you do it?
So we're kind of tinkering with the pricing model. We can be flexible. Right now, it's 10% of the Experience Cloud spend.
Okay.
Yeah. But we can depending on like how you're working with your customer, it can be based on the number of portals that you're building, right?
Yeah.
It's as simple as that as well. So we can kind of skin the cat different ways depending on the appetite of your customer.
Okay. And do you know if you were to, let's say, close a deal, they spend $100,000 on Experience Cloud, so they spend 10 grand for Spark. does that go through and show up as like third-party ISV pay for the account executives? Do you know if they get like that little opportunity portion from it?
They get paid. Yep. So they get quota relief and also paid.
Okay, cool. Because that's what
Yep.
my AEs are going to ask me when
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
for sure.
guys, we should, yeah.
So we're on the App Exchange, right? So we run the gauntlet there.
It works
We're
like
part
the
of the
other one.
program.
Like if you close a Vonage or a Five9, they get paid a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry to derail you, Sophia.
No, no problem at all. I would like to show you how we can connect to the database to retrieve some of our Salesforce data. So over here, I created a few records on the articles object. And as you can see, I included a checkbox option here to display article, and I have 3 checked in true. So let's display the 3 of these. I will start by adding a component from the menu. I will use these cards for the example. So the idea here is that we can create a SQL operation without writing the Apex code. Okay, so I will show you how. Over here we have the option connect, which opens this menu from where I can set all of the configurations. So the first thing I have to do is to set the object from where I want to retrieve the information. For the image, I will use the related image, which means that the records will display the image which is attached to the record as a related file. For the title, I will just select this information. So I will use article name, subtitle, and content. Okay, so name. Once I start typing the abstract, the field, sorry, the values are visible there because we are connected with the object, and content for description. And now I can create a condition to display only some of the records. So I will say display article must be in true. And as you can see, the system automatically detects that this is a checkbox field, Boolean field, and I have just true or false to select here. So I will click connect. And what I see right now is a single card with the merged fields. And if I go to preview, I will see the real data, which is retrieved from the database. We have understanding peer-to-peer lending at Prosper, which is this one and is checked. Okay. And if I change some of the data here, like instead of having this 3 checked, I want to select some others, it will be automatically updated. So I will show you that as well. Let's remove this and select this. So all I have to do here is to refresh, and I don't have to reconnect or anything like that. The query is dynamically updated.
Are you able to pull through dashboards and normal list views, etc., like the things you can do on normal Experience Cloud too? This is just like specific to Spark.
Currently, we don't support dashboards or list views, but we are able to create our own list views with more complex queries and retrieving data from more than one object. We do have some tables available. Okay, and now I would like to show you another tool that we have included in Spark. So let's navigate back to the Experience Cloud site again. I will go to another page that I have, which is called Create Account. In this page, I included a flow. Let's reload it like this. And in Spark, we've got this other tool, which we called Studio, that allows us to create themes for different elements, such as flows, OmniScripts, and we are currently working on adding some others to override from there. So as you can see here, I have the flow with no styles at all. Okay, so now let's go back to Spark. I will navigate to the other tool, which is here, Style ScreenFlow with OmniScript. And here I created a theme of styles for this flow, okay? And here I have all of the available options to customize these elements, such as we can make some configurations. For the input color, I can select something like this, and it's applied to all of the inputs at once. So this is like a general controller for all of the flow elements. I can go in more like a deeper level of detail for some other specific configurations, but the idea is that from here I can control everything. So let's save this one, and now I will apply this style to the flow. So here I have the create account page opened from Experience Builder, and here I have the flow. Okay, so all I have to do here is to set the theme name I just created, which is called Financial Services, and the flow will be updated, just like that. So
can this write just back to sale? Like, okay, let's say there's an action in Salesforce that opens an account. So I'm assuming that if you open the account in this flow in Spark, it can then go back to Salesforce and say, open this account for this individual with this data. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, all I did here was to apply some styles to the flow. So no functionality is modified, but what we're doing here is we are avoiding to create the CSS style sheet with all of the selectors for each flow element. We provide all of that with this interface where the user can just select for the input, I want this color, background, a border and stuff like that, but no functionality is affected by that. Okay, so I just set the theme to the flow, and that's it.